Can you believe it? I got called out. That's right, I've been called out by Dennis78382, the bronze god of thunder himself, to do this quarantine challenge video. This video challenge has become popular in the Nomad community, and all you have to do is answer 10 questions about living in quarantine during the pandemic, and then call out 5 others to take the challenge as well. So let's get started. For those of you who don't know Dennis, he lives, works, and plays out of his Ford F-150 pickup in the Corpus Christi, Texas area. He drives for Uber and Lyft, and he's got a pretty cool channel. Check it out. Question 1. How many rolls of toilet paper do you have right now? Wow, so this toilet paper situation's not looking great, is it? I had a friend who found a bunch of rolls at Walmart the other week, and she was nice enough to give me 6 of them. Unfortunately, with me being home all the time, I'm going through them a lot quicker. That's all that's left of that. Fortunately, when I went to Redner's, that's our local grocery store, the other day, there was only 2 6-packs in the entire aisle. And fortunately, I was able to snag myself one of those 6-packs. So it's looking better, but wait, there's more. 2 nights ago, I went to Target, and guess what? That whole aisle was actually pretty well stocked. I mean, yeah, there were some bare spots, but you had your choice of brands and sizes and everything. So, just for kicks, I picked myself up 4 more. Decided not to get greedy, but, you know, I think we're getting through the worst of this. But I do like to be prepared, so that brings my total of toilet paper up to 11 rolls, plus what's still on the roll in the bathroom. Feels like Christmas in May. Question 2. What has been the biggest change since the lockdown? So the biggest change for me has been working from home instead of working from downtown Allentown. In fact, this is Friday afternoon. I just completed my 8th week of working from home. Allentown, Pennsylvania is unfortunately the hot spot for coronavirus infections in the state of Pennsylvania. It has the highest per capita rate of infections, so I was very relieved when they said we could start working from home. And even though this is a very small room, this is 45 square feet of total luxury, and I spend 12 to 14 hours a day in this room. This is my personal computer. This is an old MacBook Pro. This is where I've been doing all of my video editing. I've been working in iMovie. And over here, this is my work and school computer. You're not seeing any work right now because I'm done for the week. It's Friday. And this is a Photoshop assignment that I recently completed. So I split my time between these 2 computers, and the nice thing is when I'm working, I can switch this monitor. This is a 4K monitor. I can switch this over to the Dell and have a lot of real estate. And despite being a small room, I don't mind it. I've got a nice view out the window. It's a little bit obscured right now. It's cloudy, it's raining outside, and I can't see too far because now we've got the leaves on the bushes, but in the winter I can see all the way to the street corner. Normally there would be 2 or 3 cats laying here on the towel. They love to watch the birds outside that window. I've got my fan here, which is important. This house doesn't have central air, and the window unit's on the opposite corner of the house, so I need that to keep cool. It's a small room, but I got all the comforts of home here. Probably should have organized this bookshelf a little bit better before doing the video. Got all my business books, my programming books, more programming books. Don't tell anybody, guys. I tend to be a nerd about these things. I'm a real geek, so you might recognize our old friend here, the Vegas Skyline. I haven't made room for it in my display cases yet because I got to move shelves because that needle's a little high. So that's living in here for now where the cats can't get it. Thankfully, they don't climb up there. Hey, look, Dennis. This should look familiar. I've been enjoying this during the year of May. It's a great calendar, Dennis, but each one of these months this year has been about 100 days long. I think they fell a little short on the count. And behind me on this wall here, I've got my whiteboard and cork board that I really can't use because my crazy cat Danny, she gets on the back of my chair and she tears it up. And if I write anything on the board, she smudges it out. And I put my GG1 magnet up here just for the sake of doing the video. I'll have to take that down afterwards because Danny will tear that down too. But that's it. This is my world for 12 to 14 hours a day, guys. Question 3. Where are you currently docked, camped, or living? Once in a while, I do actually get up from my computer, and I enjoy the rest of my home here in beautiful Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. I live just outside of the town of Northampton, which is halfway between Allentown and Blue Mountain. It's a beautiful scenic area, lots of rolling hills. You've got Blue Mountain to the north, South Mountain to the south. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I love to drive around in my truck and share all the beautiful sights with everybody. Question 4. What have you gone without recently? Well, I have made the very difficult decision to stop going to Wawa for food during this quarantine. For those of you not from the area, Wawa is life in Pennsylvania. My daily routine would be to stop there on the way to work, pick up one of their absolutely delicious breakfast burritos, take that to the office, enjoy it with my coffee, and usually while I'm there I pick up something for lunch, and then sometimes I even stop on the way home to pick up dinner, and often I stop by on the weekends during my travels. So to have given up Wawa during this has been difficult to say the least, but the stores are extremely busy, probably less so right now. And I know people who work at the company. I know that Wawa is doing absolutely everything they can to keep the stores clean, to keep everybody safe, to keep everybody healthy, but I just look at it right now as too high of a risk for me. I'm very worried about catching COVID-19, and there's just way too many people in and out of there every day for my liking, and it's really hard to social distance in those stores. So it's nothing against Wawa. I love Wawa. I'll be happy to go back every single day of my life once this crisis is over, but for now I'm playing it safe and staying home. Question 5. What are you most grateful for? Well, at the risk of sounding obvious, I'm grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for the fact that I still have an income during this pandemic. I know both of those things could change at a moment's notice, but I've been good so far, and I hope to continue to be good. To give a more interesting answer, I'm really grateful that I'm getting to spend more time with my cats every day. I mean, I love them more than anything, and it really breaks my heart sometimes to have a lifestyle that's always on the go, that I'm only seeing them a couple minutes in the morning before work, and then I have some very hectic evenings. It's really nice to have them as a constant companion while I'm working, and even when I'm not working, they'll be sitting here supervising my work, make sure I'm working hard. Other times they fall asleep on the job. I wish I had that luxury, but I sure as heck don't. I think they're trying to tell me the work's a little boring, and yeah, I agree. But what's nice when I switch the computer off after work is they're right there, I can spend time with them. It's just really nice to be in their presence all day. Seeing them, they relax me, and I think they like having me around more too. I mean, it took a little adjustment at first for them to get used to my new routine, but it's working, and I think it's going to be hard on them when and if the day comes that I have to go back to the office. But, in the meantime, I'm really going to enjoy every minute home with them. I wish I could be with them more. Question 6. What do you miss the most? Well, I'm definitely missing live sports. Regulars here know I like hockey, I like baseball. I like to go to the local games, Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which is hockey, and the Iron Pigs, which is baseball. But more importantly, we are in the month of May, and the month of May means one thing. It means racing at Indianapolis, and they should be getting ready for qualifying right now. They should be having the Grand Prix on the Infield Road Course next week, and then, of course, the Indy 500 on Memorial Day. F1 usually has the Monaco Grand Prix that same day. If you're a racing fan like me, that is the highlight of the year, and none of that's happening this year. IndyCar is going to start their season at Texas Motor Speedway on June 6th, and they have moved the Indy 500 to August. I forget the date. But it's not the same. I mean, May and Memorial Day weekend is just always special, and it's going to be different this year. Question 7. How long has it been since you've been to a campsite? So the last time I was at a campground was about a year ago, probably last May. Some friends of mine had just bought this beautiful new Class C RV, and they'd come up here for the weekend, so I went and hung out with them for an afternoon to check out the RV, catch up on things. Unfortunately, the only way I've been to campgrounds in the last 2 decades or so has been when friends have come up with their RVs and I've just gone to hang out. The last time I camped overnight on my own was actually 20 years ago. In the year 2000, I went up to Laconia, New Hampshire for Bike Week. I had a Nissan pickup truck at the time with a carpeted bed and a camper shell, and I trailered my motorcycle up there with some friends. And I'd love to say we spent a wonderful week camping up there, but it rained every day except one. So, yeah, we had one really good day of riding. Beyond that, I hope to be getting myself a small travel trailer soon. I would have had one now, except the house needed some big repairs last year, and there went the down payment for the trailer. But if I'm still employed at the end of this year, I'm hoping to either get a good deal locally on a trailer or head down to Rice, Texas to get a casita. So hopefully in a few years, I'll be able to head out to campgrounds on my own again with a small trailer of my own, and maybe I can meet up with friends like Dennis, Tracy, and Leah. Hey, look, looks like Leah caught herself some dinner. Question 8. What's your favorite quarantine food? So without being able to stop by Wawa every morning for my favorite breakfast burrito, I have instead been stocking up on the Jimmy Dean bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwiches. I usually have these on weekends that I stay in, and I like them just fine, but they're not Wawa. That said, I'm okay with eating them every day, or pretty close to it. I've also been growing really fond of snacking on these Archer Farms trail mixes. I have several different varieties, and I had bought a couple of them pre-pandemic because I thought they would travel well on my weekend outings. It would be something I could just take with me and snack on, but since I'm not going many places, I've been enjoying snacking on them in the house. Last but not least, this is probably my favorite new food from the pandemic. When the state of PA issued the stay-at-home order, I went shopping that day, and that was probably my one day of true panic grocery shopping. And the ice cream aisle was almost bare. My favorite flavors weren't there. That said, there really is no bad ice cream. But of what was left, I decided to try this new flavor. It's the Turkey Hill Brown Sugar Bourbon Vanilla, and it is a limited edition. But I enjoyed it so much, I went out and bought a couple more tubs. This is my last one. Hopefully they'll have more. I don't drink, but in a sense, I guess you could say this is how the pandemic drove me to drink. Question 9. How are you exercising or doing workouts? You have been watching my channel, right? No? Alright, then I'll just answer the question. Exercise has actually been one of the highlights of quarantine for me. I live a couple miles away from the D&L Trail in Pennsylvania. That's a 165-mile trail, and it has remained open during the pandemic. In fact, there's almost no better place to go social distancing than that trail, even though the last couple weekends it's gotten a little crowded. But I've been going out walking, I've been going out biking, I've been doing some filming on the trails with my GoPro, and I think I'm probably one of the few people who can honestly say I've lost a couple pounds during quarantine. Question 10. What was your pandemic panic purchase? Cat food. Lots and lots of cat food. Literally mountains of cat food. Why? No, I'm not so desperate that I think I'm going to have to resort to eating it. But I got 7 of these little critters wandering around the house. And seriously, I worry more about the food supply for them than for me. I can always be resourceful and make substitutions and figure things out. But in the early days of the pandemic, and even now, still to be honest, I worry about the food supply chain, particularly with meat. And I want to make sure my babies are well fed, plain and simple. Okay, so to wrap this up, I'm supposed to pick 5 other YouTubers and challenge them to answer these same 10 quarantine questions. Of course, the Bronze God of Thunder stole my thunder, And he already nominated a lot of the same people I was going to pick. Dennis nominated Calvin, retired geezer firefighter, and Tracy and Leah Phillips. So nothing personal to the three of you. I'm going to skip over you because Dennis got to you first. I'm going to pick 5 of my own. If you want to do this, that's really cool. It's just something fun, something to bring us closer together during these crazy times. If you don't want to do it, it's no big deal. I'm not going to take it personal. Don't feel obligated. But if you want to do it, without further ado, here's my 5 picks. I'm going to start with CT. That's Canadian trucker. He was passing through Pennsylvania on I-81 a couple of nights ago. That's about an hour from here. Hope you had a good ride through Pennsylvania, CT, but pull over into one of those rest stops and answer these 10 questions. The world's waiting to hear it. Next up, I'd like to nominate Mad Dog 346. He's got a great channel with MRE reviews. I'd also like to nominate David Lynn, another good prepper channel. He has a lot of good MRE reviews, other product reviews, a lot of good advice, a lot of advice that I've followed. So check his channel out. Next up, I'd like to nominate Bus Stop. He has a newer channel, but he likes a lot of the same things I do. You'll see bridges, trains, geese. He also does a lot of videos of food. I got to make sure I'm not hungry when I watch that channel, otherwise my mouth starts watering. So check his channel out. Last but not least, I'd like to nominate InfoSpot 411. A lot of good product reviews there, along with some other miscellaneous videos, and also, a loyal follower of this channel and several other channels that I frequent. So check out InfoSpot 411's channel. So hope you guys have had some fun with this. I tried to be a little creative in how I presented things here. And thank you as ever for watching. Stay safe and stay healthy.